everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I am here today with Natalie and Misty, and welcome to our new series called Triple Play. The third week of the month, three ladies are going to give you three new ideas that's based on one quilt project we've already done. This is the Tiny Wonky Stars quilt. We all love Tiny Wonky Stars.
They're so cute.
They're so cute. And so we came up with three different projects, and we're going to start off with mine. I took the Tiny Wonky Stars and I sandwiched them in between two rows of houses. So we are going to teach you how to make the basic star block, and then we're going to show you three ways to change it up.
What we did.
So let's start with that star block. Now mine is all based on 2.5-inch squares, which means that we are going to have 9 little squares like this. Now for my project, I've used the fabric Seasons by Jason Yenter for New Beginnings, and it's a really fun line. I'm kind of a traditionalist in the way that I wanted all my stars to be one color and blue. They're all scrappy. I used all the different blues, but still they're, you know, I had to have blue stars because stars are up in the sky and they're blue, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
My stars are yellow.
I know.
Or orange or white.
Right, right. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut a couple of these charm packs in half like this, and we're going to make some 2.5-inch blocks because mine is all based on 2.5-inch squares. And remember that the fun about this block is that it is based on a square, and you'll see from these guys projects that any size square works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these into 2.5-inch squares, and we're going to make the star, and I'm going to show you how to make the star legs. So basically, I'm going to take a 2.5-inch square, and I'm going to lay my fabric, my printed fabric, over my white fabric. The white now becomes the pattern and the background, and I'm going to lay it so that it crosses over that middle line right here, and sew 1/4 inch right down the side. All right, so it goes across the center, and she uses the fabric as her guide for her 1/4 inch. And so your presser foot goes right along the edge of your printed fabric, and she sews right down the sides. Misty, do you want to iron that? And it's great to have 3 sewers. I'm telling you, this is the best.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. All right, press that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to trim this leg off right here, and I mean the rest of the square off. We use our white square as our pattern. It becomes the base for our star block. We're going to cut off the side and the top and keep this little piece because it's what makes the leg on the other side. So you kind of choose here. You want it to make sure it's crossing over that fabric and coming down however far you want it. It could be a little short leg, it could be a long leg. Because I'm a rote sewer, mine tend to end up in the same place. Do your guys's?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
mine do too.
Yeah. So our stars kind of look like a pattern, even though there's no pattern and it's wonky. Now the ones behind us, Carol, our sewer, made these, and she's got long ones and short ones, and it really looks wonky and it makes it really fun.
The fabric just has to cover the square, so it doesn't matter which direction you go as long as it makes a leg that covers the white background square.
Right, right. So again, we're going to use this as the pattern, and we're going to trim all that extra off. And I don't trim the backs of my fabric off. Do you guys?
No, I don't.
No, I don't either. There's, you know, those needles can go through pretty much anything, right?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so you're going to do this 4 times. You're going to have 4 sets of legs, and they go together like a 9 patch. So here's my middle square right here. And so we're going to put 2 of our legs this way, 2 of our legs this way, and our corner squares are just the plain white on mine. So that goes together just like this, and 1 more square here, and you're going to then sew this together in 3 rows of 3, and it's going to make this cute little 2.5-inch wonky star. So also on my quilt is a house block, so let me show you how to do that real quick. Let me just scoot this stuff over here. I love the tiny houses. I'm just kind of addicted to them, and every time I make one, it's a whole new adventure.
They're so fun.
Well, it's like the stars. You know, you get a little star done, and especially when you do them scrappy like this, everyone is like, oh, it's so cute.
Like a little surprise.
All right, so I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off of this 5-inch square for my house, and that's just because we need it to be a 4.5-inch square. I mean, a 4.5 inches wide. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my top piece. Now, let me show you my house for a second here. Where did it go? Now, if you ever wonder how we sew, this is how I sew. Mine is, I'm always in piles. They're a little more organized.
Sometimes.
It depends, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Anyway, this is our little house. We're talking about the roof line right here. So I've cut my 5-inch square to 4.5 on one side only. And then I'm going to cut off a 1.5 by 4.5 inch rectangle for the top of my roof. So here's that. We'll put that over here.
And that's this little strip right here, right?
Yep. And then our side walls are going to be 3 inches by 2 inches. So let me see how long this is. This is 3.5. So I'm going to cut off another little 1/2 inch piece. And then I can do 2 inches. Wait, is that 2? Here we go. Let me turn this around. It'll be easier for me. 2 inches, 2 by 3, and that's a side wall, and 2 by 3, and that's another side wall. These are a little bit short. I think we can make it work though. All right. So here's 2 by 3 and 2 by 3. Then we need our door. The door, you want it to be contrasting, so look for something fun. I think these wheels are fun. Your door is 1.5 by 3. So we're going to cut this right out here, 1.5 by 3. And that's going to be our doorway. And I like to put interesting things in the doorway. Now the roof is going to be a whole different color. Actually, your entire house can match. Mine, I kind of did them all different. So your roof is going to be 4.5 by 2.5. So I'm going to line this up here, 4.5 by 2.5. And Natalie, to make this roof, we're going to need, we're going to snowball the 2 top corners. And so I'm going to let
Should
you.
I go ahead and sew together the roof?
No, I like to do the roof first.
Okay.
That way, because then when you build your house, the roof's on and everything's done. So I've finger pressed that. Let me find another one of these little blocks.
There they are.
I love these 2.5
They're
inch
so
squares.
handy.
So these you can get, they're 2.5 inch squares already cut. Oh my gosh, it's so, saves so much time. It's perfect for me.
Yep.
All right, and then we've got one more. Oh, let me trim that off. Let me just trim that off. All right, if you want to check your corners, you can just press it back and make sure it still lines up in the corner. Natalie's pretty good at this.
It's okay.
So that's pretty good.
It's not great, but it'll work.
We're going to finger press that back, and then we're going to add the other white corner on the other side, and that's going to give us our roof peak. We're all staring at him.
I know.
Nobody sews a perfect
So
seam when
much
people
Pressure's
stare.
on.
So much pressure. All right. Now I am going to trim this off, and Misty, I'm going to have you iron it.
Okay.
And then Natalie,
do these?
yeah, so these sides, the sides to each door, you're going to do that part first. That's all right. That's all right. It'll all come out in the wash. Or hopefully not. Hopefully none of this will come out in the wash. All right, just squaring that up a little bit. So she's adding her walls to both sides of the door. Now, on a lot of my doors, I've made several quilts with these tiny houses. And a lot of times in the door, I will put a little, like a novelty print. Like I have
cute.
a little puppy in one, or a little skeleton in one, a little Eskimo in
All
one.
these little faces.
All
They're
these little faces
so
peeking
cute.
out the doors. And I love to do that. I just think that's really fun. And so then
Press it first, or
Yep.
do you want me to put the...
you can do it either way. We have Misty right here. So
I'll
we'll just
press.
press on, Misty. Press
All
on.
right, I will. Make sure we don't have any creases.
There we go. And then she's going to put this top piece right across the top.
this top piece?
Yep. So because your houses, they need to be like the same height, which is pretty much the same. You can square them a little if you want to. Natalie's seams might be a little, my 1/4 inch seam is kind of fat. So her seams may be a little more accurate than mine are. And then put the roof on. But
Everybody's is a little different.
yeah, because you're sewing them to, oh, where's my thing here? Because you're sewing them together side by side, it's okay if they're just little bits different. You know what? I think I'm going to hang this up behind you right here. Or Misty, maybe you can help me there or hang that.
You can trim these
Yes.
sides off if you
Yeah,
want.
so that's what I'm going to do. So we've got the top of our roof on, our roof and our header board, and this is our little house right here. And I'm just going to trim up these sides. So just shave them up so they're the same. I mean, ideally with those measurements, they should match, but if your 1/4 inch is a little different or a little off, it won't be exact. but this is your little house block, and they just come out so cute. And so you're going to have 9 of these on each side. So you make 18 of those total, 6 star blocks, and then I didn't even border it. I just put a little binding on it, and it's just so cute how it ends up. All right, now, Misty, what did you do to yours?
So for mine, when I saw this fabric, which I thought was so cute, I made a whole quilt, first of all.
My mess. Here we go.
So I don't know if we want to hold
Yes,
this up
yes.
or what.
Let's hold it up. I'm going to put these
We
down
could
here.
probably just stick it.
Maybe. So I'm calling this one Luminary, and when I saw this fabric, which is called Gingham Farm by My Mind's Eye for Riley Blake, it just reminded me of an old farmhouse, and I wanted it to feel really scrappy and just, you know, warm and homey. And so I just decided to put 4 patches in the middle. So I took my 5-inch squares and I cut them down, and I made a little 4 patch for the center. And then because I made 4 patches, it means that my background squares were no longer 5 inches, they're 4.5. And so let me see here if I.
Well, you have a trick for making those.
I do. You want me to
patches.
show?
Yeah, show that.
Okay. Let me make
Because
sure I've got.
so there's lots of ways to make 4 patches.
Yes.
But this is a really quick way to do it, and it's they go together fun and
It's
easy. It
super
just
fun.
feels like no stress to me. But
Agreed.
everybody's different. The way we learn is different. The way we sew is different. And
So you're just going to want to take 2 contrasting 5-inch squares. So I've got 2 here, and I'm going to put those right sides together. And Nat, do you want to sew?
Yep.
We're just going to do a 1/4-inch seam on opposite sides.
Okay.
yeah, on both sides.
Yep.
There we go.
All right. So once you have that sewn on opposite sides, you're going to take, I have my 2.5-inch ruler here, and since this is a 5-inch square, we can just lay it right on the edge. We're going to cut this in half, and then we're going to press those open.
I get to do it.
Yay!
Press to the dark side.
And then because I wanted it scrappy, you're going to get 2 of those, obviously. I did this with a bunch of different ones, and I'm just going to put them, I'm just going to kind of mix it up, and then I put those right sides together. And then you sew with your seam in the middle, you're going to sew on opposite sides again.
Again.
And you're going to have a piece.
And cut those in half.
You're going to cut those in half again, and you're going to get 2 sets of 4 patches. Just like that.
Awesome.
And so then you never have to deal with the little squares. And it makes it really fun. So like I said, those end up being 4.5 inches. And so then we cut our background fabric to 4.5 inches as well. And then we just laid this out just like before with our star legs.
So what size square did you use for your star leg? Did you
5,
cut those down?
because I just stuck with my 5-inch
Okay,
square.
perfect.
Yep, exactly.
That actually gives you a little more wiggle room.
Yep, plenty of room. And so then I just put this together, and I've got a few more rows that I've already sewn here. So we'll just drop those in like so.
So it's the same, just with a bigger square.
Yeah, exactly. And
look
a
how
block
cute
in the
that is.
middle.
Yeah, and a block in the middle.
And then
It
I
looks
decided
darling.
to sash it just to help it set apart. And I put little 2.5-inch cornerstones. This is 2.5-inch sashing.
Those
so.
cornerstones save me because I cannot line up rows to save my life, and I love a cornerstone.
I do too, and I thought it worked really well with this, and so it was
It's
fun.
really
Very
cute.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Natalie, show us yours.
Okay. So mine, I had a layer cake to work
Swap,
with.
yeah.
I used Violet Twilight by Canvas Studios for Benertex Fabrics.
Here, Misty and I will hang this up for you.
So the cool thing about my project is the layout. So everything that you see here is 5-inch square, backgrounds and middles included. You'll need 5 5-inch squares. So I used a layer cake that had multiples of the same color.
Oh, yeah.
You could scrap it up if you wanted to, if you didn't have that same
And just
type
cut
of
them in
line.
fourths.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have
I think this is a
have
beautiful
matching
line.
colors.
I love the purples. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Pretty.
But so these legs intersect with their neighbor's legs. So you have to kind of lay this whole quilt out before you start sewing it
So
together.
you're not making a block.
Nope.
Okay.
This is I think it would be called a row quilt.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll start. The easiest way to start laying this out is just to start from one star, kind of in the middle, wherever you want your beginning star to start.
And really, you're going to want to do this on a design wall or your design floor.
Yeah.
A big open
You're
space.
gonna need some space.
Because you really
Yep.
do have
I'm
to
gonna
lay
take
it
that.
out.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I can't see it until it's all together.
Yeah, it's just kind of something you start building. So you just start with your first star.
And
you
where I
leave-
would have put solid squares here, another leg goes there.
That's right. They intersect. So then you're just going to start laying those pieces together,
I love it.
adding your center. Are we
Yeah, we're good.
still good? Able to see everything?
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll put another one over here. It can go sideways or it can go up and down.
Move these out of the way.
Laying it out can be a little bit tricky, so follow the diagram or be creative and do whatever you want. You just want to make sure you have complete stars and they can intersect and look great. If you want to, you can take them all the way out to the edge and have like half stars.
Sure.
I wanted a nice clean white border, so
So
I added
in here-
a bunch of,
So in here, these are just straight 5-inch white squares that, to fill it in and make it square.
yep,
Perfect.
One
it looks
side.
awesome.
It's so
Ooh,
cute.
and look what she
Yes.
put on the back.
Yay!
cuddle on the backing, perfect
we love
It's
a
going to
cuddle
be
back.
for
For
a baby.
babies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I love
It's
that
so
you can,
soft
you can
and-
see the pattern, the stitch pattern. It's so cool.
it's beautiful.
Beautiful. So,
So
lots of
fun.
ideas and lots of things. We loved making these Wonky Stars. They're one of our favorites. And every month now, you're going to see on the third week from 3 ladies, 3 special new projects that are all made off of another quilt we've tutorialed. So if you want to search for this, the tiny Wonky Stars that's under her, that's the original tutorial. That's right there. And then we have these 3 new projects for you. So we hope you enjoyed our triple play. It was fun, wasn't it, girls?
It was so fun.
I also did a tiny one.
You did!
I love it so
What size are
much.
those?
1.5-inch squares. I
1.5
couldn't resist
inch.
the tiny.
And because it's
so
based
cute.
on a square, any square works.
Any square.
That
any
is
size.
so cute. All right, so we hope you enjoyed this triple play from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.